Forward in position. And I think we will be good to go. And those are barely in screen. Okay, perfect. So as we're going in today, today we are actually going to go with double knives. And I'll move closer when the time comes. I'm using these stupidly large knives for visibility. No, I don't think these are practical, but I want them to be out and visible so you guys can see them. Yeah, so, and Andrew, hey, see your text there? Good day to you too. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started here. Again, grab double knives if you have them. If you don't have like a good pair of trainers, you know, 2 butter knives would suit for this. A lot of this is when we're training with double knives, it's not because I think you're ever going to get into a fight with 2 knives. That's blatantly impractical. But it's a training tool. I did have a request to sort of show some of the applications in empty hands, and so that's one of the reasons why we're doing this today. Make sure that just move this one over. Okay, yeah, that works a little better. Okay, cool. And we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, to start with, as we're going to start with reverse triangle footwork. I'm going to open this up a little bit bigger. Over here, and okay, it's a little weird with the lag on there. And actually, I'm going to come a little closer to that to see what's going on here. Okay, to start out with, we're going to start again double knives, reverse triangle footwork. I'm not going to exactly lay out the footwork every single time. I'm kind of assuming you already have that at this point, and this just gives me a little bit more visibility into the screen. So I'm going to step forward on the left 45 here on the reverse triangle. I'm going to go ahead and cut 1 and 4, come back in the other way, 1 and 4. This is, of course, just like what we do with the stick. 1 and 4, 1 and 4, 1 and 4, 1 and 4. Okay, I'm trying to figure out a good speaking level here. Let me know if this is either too loud or if audio is okay here. Okay, good. So that's reverse. Now we're going to go the number 1 thrust and then come back in on the slash. Okay, still reverse triangle footwork. I'm stepping, I'm turning here and back. And then the other side, back, thrust, slash, thrust and slash, thrust and slash, thrust and slash, and slash, thrust and slash. Okay, when I'm stepping here, I'm not keeping my body angled this way to the screen. I'm not just stepping out 45, or am I keeping my here, right? I am thrusting, turning the hips so that they're driving up and back and up and back, up and back and up and back. And remember with this number 1, while it is a conceptual angle, I don't know if you can hear that behind me. There's literally a train going by. This hook is a hooking thrust. It's designed actually one of the primary targets is actually femoral, though of course, depending on the angle, you could make it under the chin or something like that. But remember that this is kind of a low arcing thrust as we come in here. So 1, 1, 1, 1 and slash, 1 and slash, 1 and slash, 1 and slash. Okay, and then as you come back, go ahead, cross the bridge of the nose there. 1 and slash. So that first angle may not be a true, right, reciprocal. It isn't 1 and back. if I pick femoral off the bottom and slash, femoral slash, 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 slash. Good. Again, this is a conceptual line. If I actually made contact with that thrust, it's going to go right through the guy's leg. It's going to get stuck, and you're going to have to do something to extract it. We're not dealing with that right now. We're just dealing with essential movement. Okay, let me do a quick check here for, sounds like comments are okay. Cool, okay. No comment on audio. So, okay, good. So now we're going to step that same shift as we come in here. And this is long distance thrust, where everything else we've done has been close range, right? Close range slash, close range slash. This lunge isn't like a fencing lunge. This is an offline lunge, okay? So long distance, I'm going to back up a little more for this one. I'm still stepping my left foot over here on the angle here. And now my thrust is going to bridge the nose, the throat, something on the center line coming up here as I come in. So hit and thrust, back, thrust, 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 thrust. I'm thrusting to center line there. Thrust, thrust. If you wanted to bring that back to here, that'd be fine here. You could go cross if you wanted to, off of there as well. Here, pop. Okay. One of the reasons for that is obviously power generation as I turn that. It's also for extension. If I step and I don't turn my hips, right, I can reach so far. Actually, let me do that from the side. So I step, my hips are here, okay? If I want power, I need to get my hips into it. Just like in boxing, you don't want to be an arm puncher, right? So same thing here. I'm going to pivot my hips fully. And so that's also helps get my shoulder into it. And you can see the change in the depth of penetration that I get there, much less what I actually get with the lean on that one. So that's one of the reasons that I use that body mechanic of this turn and also this forward lean. Okay. Of course, on the practical side of things, step and turn, drop my head. I'm getting my head out of the way there of a potential return trip. Drop. There might be a number one coming that way there. And then we could also do this low line thrust as well as we come in. So just a couple different ideas of what you can do with that offline footwork there. Okay, but I'm going to go back to that long distance thrust here, here, here. I am using a little bit of a different thrusting mechanic, if you noticed, and this is using a pointer finger here. And depending on the knife, this may or may not be appropriate. I could, of course, do it as saber grip as I come this way. But on this weapon or a longer, particularly longer knives, I often use this pointer grip. Literally, I'm pointing to where I'm going. So again, just to explain something that might seem a little unusual. Here. Okay, so now when you get comfortable with that, go ahead and keep warming. And now let's think about shifting. This isn't really a true fighting design right now. We're just going to be loose on our feet here. And I'm going to have 1 foot forward. I'm not going to be truly sort of even here, but I'm going to sort of be in a really shallow fighting stance here and practice. Boom, boom. There's my offline set. Boom, boom. There's my offline set. If I had a partner, they could be directing me, or they give me a focus mitt, like, hey, hit this, hit this. And then I hold up a stick or something like that that I have to hit, and he holds up one on this side, I hit that side. Same thing here. So, and just so that you're loose and you can explode as you come out here. So long distance thrust, slash and slash and thrust as we go in. A couple different mechanics as we go through that piece. Okay, we're going to hit the lateral footwork here. So we're going to be here. We're going to hit our lateral sidestep footwork. I'm going to step off here, sidestep. This is a 90-degree sidestep. Actually, I'll go back over here. So 90 degrees, lateral sidestep, back, sidestep. Okay, sidestep, sidestep. Again, full hip shift. One of the things that we always try to emphasize in training is that we are doing this kind of an exaggerated distance, really over-exaggerated, really showing that with the idea that in real life you're probably going to shorten everything. But we want to instill this good mechanic. We don't want you to just go shallow and essentially that you don't do it, when it actually happens. So. Okay, you're seeing a little hand transfer here as I move back and forth. Okay, good. So that's that basic mechanic. And now we are going to do the same thing. I'm going to step, sidestep. And now part of that sidestep where before I just stepped and I turned here. Now I want to generate my number 2 with that sidestep turn. So I shift offline. So instead of lateral now, I'm going to move, ducking my head, clearing a shot, maybe like that number 1, just like we did on our reverse triangle footwork. So here, I'm ducking, little bit of duck, not super exaggerated. Then I'm going to hit my side step and back, and that drives my contrada, my number 2. Side and out. Okay, here and out. I'll do that so you can see from the back. Okay, I'm going to shift here and hit the contrada, my number 2, and then come up here. Okay, come back to center, shift, hit my contrada, and my number 2. Shift, contrada, and split. Here, shift, number 2, and back. Here, shift, here, and switch. Here, number 2, and switch. Here, number 2, switch. Okay, just to give you an idea on that, now let me face the front on that one. See if there's any questions. There are no questions. Okay. So shift, number 2, and the switch. Shift, number 2, and the switch. Okay, so now we're doing that same transfer back and forth. So now shift, number 2, this is my contrada, and there's my cut, or my thrust. Okay, shift, number 2, instead of thrusting, short, close distance thrust, long distance thrust. Back, wrong one, shift, thrust, go long on that second one. Back, duck, thrust. Here, Okay, just giving you a couple of variations on that basic shift, turn, and thrust mechanic. Now, what's important on that, it's that single turn, right? This is my power up. I've shifted it. I've got my hips ready here. One turn, bang, bang, right? Down and up or down and long, same mechanic, right? As I come across there. Okay, so just wanted to look at that basic mechanic as I go through. Okay, next one. Forward triangle, broken as I step back. So same thing here. I'm going to step back here. I'm going to use, my hips are on the 45 here. Stepping back on that angle here. I'm going to do a wave out. I'm going to come this way. And actually, we'll just do that, okay? So you're going to see that same little hand transfer on the reverse triangle. Okay, wave out. And if you haven't done a lot of wave out, one of the things I really emphasize on this one is practice getting your head as far back as you possibly can. The purpose of a wave out is that I'm whipping my head back and clearing some sort of highline attack. If I had to pick one thing that you use on the body the most, it's probably this one. Because a lot of times you don't have time to step back. All you have time is, wah, move your head back, right? And so that's what this is. So you need to train yourself to make sure that your head is getting as far back and that you learn that. It's really easy with wave out. And again, wave out, hips are square, and I'm doing this, facing this direction right now, just to give you the profile view on this. As I wave out here, comfortably, oh, I got it, right? I can do this wave out business. I got it. And really what's happening here is, like, it's okay. My head's even with my heel here, something like that. But I can go more, right? I can go more. And the more I can go and recover, right? Also, if I just throw my head back too far, I stumble out of the picture. I don't recover. What I want to be able to do is to come back, whoo, boom, and come back into this fight. So I plant my foot and I figure out how far off of that foot can I go backwards, right? And so now I'm 6 inches past my heel and back into that fight. Okay, and obviously this is the time to figure out it's uncomfortable. You're figuring out where the edge of your balance is. So try to figure out that when you're doing this mechanic, even slow. Okay, because this is really when you figure out it's like, okay, this is the end of my balance as I come in here. So think about this wave in and wave out. Again, go back to the reverse triangle, do the same thing. Now I'm facing this direction. Here I step back, I wave out, and I'm really thinking about how far I can get my head back. And this should be an ab workout here, right? Obviously, you're using the core as to wave out as you do this. If I hit this sideways, it's going to be harder to recover because my core is facing over here. My hips are turned. I want my hips square to that direction, and now I'm using the center of my core to move. That's just good. That's just good biomechanics as we're working at that. Again, think about that. Reverse step, come back, whoop, and I went too far. Even going slow, pushed a little bit too far. Step back. What I don't want to do is use this leg as a counterbalance. Right? I want to step back. I can elevate it a little bit, but I don't want to be actively counterbalancing from this. Here, wave out, wave out, wave out. Okay, so that is basic wave out as we're going here. And then I want to take it into long distance jab. So actually, we'll save that for the next round. Okay. So that's a linear, that's a direct wave in, wave out. Now I'm going to hit the circular. Okay. So now I'm going to step back on that 45. I'm going to do this from the side a little bit. Okay, I'm going to step back on this 45. I step back here. I roll my shoulder. If I lose the weapons, right? This looks very much like a weave here. and in and back, right? So back and up, back. Okay. The way this one works out is the attack is coming in from here. I'm creating time and space away from the target here, and then back in that way. Okay, and so back, roll it in, and back, roll it in, and back. One thing I really make sure that when I'm doing on this is back, roll in, wave it back, as again, I end up with my ab to the middle, just like the straight wave in, wave out was, right? So here, back, okay? So now that we have, we'll add the double knives in, and I'll do this straight. Here, back, wave in, and I use that number one thrust, maybe as a femoral pick or something like that as you come in here, okay? So back, rear 45, wave in, thrust, up here, back, wave in, thrust, back, thrust, thrust, thrust. Okay, good. Again, just forward triangle, wave out, underneath, and back in. Okay, if we're going to make either a single weapon application of this, and it would usually be coming off of this side. Maybe I'm here. I do a parry here, and then I come back in. Right here, I parry, and then I come back in. But typically, it's going to be the parry will be out with this hand. So here, bang. Maybe I'm good enough to actually control the weapon hand, swoop that aside. That's the entry. That's an example of the movement that might come out of that one. Right? Parry, boom. And that's, you can see this motion coming across here. Parry, switch, right? Parry, boom. And I'm going long with this. This is no longer this tight little arc because I'm assuming it's a little bit of a reach. He's lunging or slashing towards me. I'm parrying and controlling. Maybe I'm pressing and moving that back out, right? Okay. Someone asked about unarmed. Scott, you asked about unarmed. Same thing here. Now, obviously, both hands are equal weapons. If I do this here and I'm got my parry, got my little shoulder roll, I'm not moving as big, but same thing here. That could be uppercut. Here, cross, right? If I get a big scoop, bang, 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 as I move into those motions. So parry, same mechanic. I'm not doing the full weave. If I wanted to go parry, cross, same thing here, right? Parry, bang, here, boom, boom, right? So anyway, those are some transfers into that motion. Obviously, it's a lot shorter with a knife, and I'm reaching and I'm punching rather than poking, but same idea, right? That long where I might go for the femoral. Obviously, the femoral is not a good shot with a hand for obvious reason. So just anyway, just giving you some ideas of where these comparisons and considerations are coming into. Okay, let's go to single weapon. And this is if you're part of the Key University, this is part of the curriculum. But we're going to go to long distance thrust, and we'll be in, go ahead and we'll start in reverse grip, the call grip, okay? And again, if you haven't had me to train, when I go to Pakal, you're always going to see me thumb cap here. That's a sort of standard that we have. Sort of the only exception is when you get into ridiculously large knives, and they have a good cross guard, and the grip may be simply too big, where that you can't come back in. Right, for over exaggerated knives, want to be dumb to hold a Bowie in a Pakal grip, but right, I've got a good guard here, and that's a reach for a thumb cap. It does not feel comfortable. Maybe you've got big ogre-sized hands, but I don't. So this doesn't make sense, and it doesn't. My hand can't slide on this weapon. It's not going to go past the guard. So that's not an example of what I would do with that. For a folder though, right? And this has got a pretty good choil. I would definitely want a thumb cap. What I really don't want to happen is hit something and I slide down on it like that, right? And that's the theoretical danger of if I just hold it this way. I want to get my good thumb cap, support that buckle grip. Okay, long distance thrust. Reverse grip, thumb cap it if you got it, if you can. So this is usually done as a two-person drill. Obviously, I don't have a second person here today. So I'm going to, the mechanics of the basic long distance thrust are I'm reaching forward here, I'm lifting my left leg, I'm tilting forward, and I'm reaching. From here, actually, let me make sure I'm on the picture with that one. Nah, I can't see that at all. That doesn't help at all. Okay. We'll do this. Here, this leg is lifted. This leg is not doing this. Okay, it's lifting, tilting, and a call jab coming out this way, be here. My left hand covers my armpit, and you'll see why. So here, you're going to see this roll as we come here. So the first thing we're going to do is to the front is lean here and call jab. Okay, extension to go here and out. Again, left hand to the armpit. If you do a lot of these, you should end up with a bruise under your arm as you make sure with that left hand that covers the armpit, anytime you extend an arm, the armpit becomes a major vital target. And that's what we'll be doing in this drill. So it's especially with a partner when they're trying to counter you and poke you in the armpit, it's a good thing to put your hand there. So anyway, so basic mechanic, tilt forward here and hit. If you've seen all my non-telegraphing videos where I hit this again and again and again, you don't forward tilt and jab. The jab starts coming and then the tilt comes afterwards, okay? But for basic mechanics here, I'm just going to break it down super simple. Here, jab, and back, okay? Forward tilt, jab. This is definitely something that's easier to do slower. Okay, now I'm starting to work my hand first. I don't want to go tilt hand. Hand leads the way. Hand covers. Okay, come on, face the front so you can see what this looks like. So one of the reasons some people would say, like, why are you doing that? Because there's actually one of the standard downsides of Pakal grip is that you lose distance compared to forward grip. And it's true, but this is one way to counteract that, okay? So Pakal, there's not a big difference, actually, between my ability to reach here and hit this and my forward lunge, assuming that my foot is in the same spot, right? This is just representing a maximum reach, okay? There's really not a big difference. There might be, especially with a big knife like this, a couple inches on there, more like an inch, but it's kind of important just to see why we're doing that. This gives you a long distance attack on the call grip, which is classically thought of as a short sort of range, weapon, mechanic on that. Because otherwise you are often limited, in terms of your major ones. This backhand gives you a non-dedicated long distance attack, and it's one of your few sort of true long distance attacks on this one. Okay, so let's work that like 5 more times. We'll get to the second part of this drill, and then we'll put them together. One of the reasons that you're lifting this leg up this way and not out back, like here, even though that would probably act as a better counterbalance, is that if I'm facing you, I hit this and I want to step offline, I can keep that weight and go forward. So I can go and then exit off to the side. I'm going to do that from here, right? And keep going off to the side. Whereas this, I just have to bring my leg from farther back. So anyway, one reason for what's going on back there. Okay, so then the next piece of this is the Highline Attack. You get the counter for it. So the counter is this highline, the call jab is coming into the head. So I want to duck. Oh, this looks familiar. Let's just wave out again. Okay, let's wave out, turn. I'm going to back up so you can see that. So we're here. I turn. What this comes from is ranging footwork, forward triangle. Hips are going to sort of, 7:30 if you know what an analog clock looks like. Here, here, and now if I'm going to do the counter is Highline Attacks coming here, offline, turn, cover, and it's a counter thrust of the armpit, rising. So this attack's coming high, I draw it, I come back up here. I'm not going to add the intermittent footwork right now. I long distance thrust, come underneath. Long distance thrust, come underneath. Okay, so with a partner, you would then do this counter for counter. And this is a really sort of classic bikini motion that we've got in here. So we're going to go, let me show this. I'm going to advance, and you're going to see me use these sort of rolling hand motions, and you're going to see it do 3, just so they are. So shuffle footwork, 1, 2, 3, hit. I don't know if I'm in the picture there. I'll start over here. So shuffle, 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 jab, shuffle, 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 counter. 1, 2, 3, bang. 1, 2, 3, bang. 1, 2, 3, bang. 1, 2, 3, bang. I'm being really constrained in this because I'm worried about leaving the picture. If you're with a partner, you can stagger your footwork as much as you have to match each other. You might have a really tall guy and a really short person, so you'll want to sort of figure out your distancing and sort of figure out the mechanic. When you do this with a partner, that upward thrust, you don't have to poke them in the hand every single time. If you have, this is a great spot for a soft trainer to actually hit the hand, and then again, it gives you a good true targeting drill as you go back and forth. So a couple more. 1, 2, 3, hit. 1, 2, 3, hit. 2, 3, hit. 1, 2, 3, hit. 2, 3, hit. 1, 2, 3, hit. Okay, so that's a counter for counter drill as we go back and forth. That's kind of it for the warm-up side of things. Let's take 30 seconds, come back, grab some water, and be back in a second. Let's see. I don't know how many people I have on. 10 people on, I think. Say hi. love to see who you guys are, and I want to make sure that this chat is still working. Last week it cut out on me, and wasn't quite sure what was going on there. So anyway, and if you have any questions, let me know. Looks like we've been on for pretty much close to 40 minutes, and I think this stream thing ends, cuts out at an hour, so we got another 20 minutes to go. We keep going with this. Okay, so we're going to keep going with knife. Actually, okay, so what do sort of, if you've been watching this channel, you've seen several different techniques for sort of how knife is used, and as we're going on with that. So, but I want to go back to some basic mechanics. One technique that I find I use a lot is a sort of a lateral slash and to the face area. A lot of times when we work our targeting, we're trying to hit vitals. I'm trying to cut nerves, arteries, and veins and tendons. So I shut down mechanics. This one, a lateral slash, especially if you're dealing with a smaller knife, isn't probably going to cut the top of their skull off. This is not a sword, right? Obviously, if I have a sword or a ridiculously large knife like this, bang, right? I do something like that, and I can do serious damage. As I get into more common folder size, it ain't gonna happen, right? I'm going to penetrate skin, get down to bone. That's also, not going to kill the guy. I don't see any way a lateral slash to, above the neck level is going to kill someone. They're not probably going to be real happy with me, but it's not going to kill someone. But, and I think I picked this technique off of the German Mincer fencing, or fencing is the right term for it. It was the old German fraternity dueling where they have fencing foils that are sharp and the only target's the face, and they have like a silk wrap on their neck and goggles. And one of the finishing techniques is a lateral cut across the forehead. What happens is you open up the forehead, this opens up, and all of a sudden they can't see anymore because there's a sheet of blood coming down over their face. So this is not a fight ending technique, but it's certainly a fight altering technique, right? So it's one that I picked up. I think it's got all kinds of utilization. I've never been in a knife fight. I haven't had to use it, but this one like legitimately comes from, hey, a different art form, but it's absolutely there. Obviously, if you take the guy's eyes out with that, also fight ending, but you don't have to be that good, right? Anywhere in here, you only get one side, they've got blood in one of their eyes, right? So let's talk about how we get to there. And so this is a lot like the lunge as I come in. It's really the same mechanic. And this one's going to come right out of this circling, the sort of circling position. So we're going to be circle, circle here, and now it comes right off this backhand circle, right? We come here, bang, as I come across. Here, okay, and again, same non-telegraphic stuff here. Weapon leads the way, close behind your weapon. Circle, bang. And again, I'm not thrusting there, I'm just stopping so it's a picture, bang. And as it comes across, I'm not trying to cut the guy's head off, okay? So it doesn't have to be, some big double force thing. That's not what this is. This is bang, really short, really fast, long, and you better get back in cover, okay? Depending on where that other guy's hand is. I know I've got video of this one of me doing it in, fights and whatnot, but I haven't controlled their weapon. This isn't a space where I've control the weapon and cut them. This is just bang, really quick, right across the top. Okay, again, don't give them the idea of forward and arm. Here, lateral cut. Here, lateral cut. Right, so super simple technique. It's a knife, right? This basic mechanic is no different than the thrust, but I think people get a little overly fixated on this idea that I've got to, cut their arm off. You don't, this is an example of a very actually not deadly attack. To give you an idea on this, those Menser fencers, they joined this dueling fraternity. I think they had, depending on the fraternity, they had something like 7 of these duels. And you didn't get one of these injuries every single time, but there was more, you could get multiple of these, and it was considered a fairly non-fatal event. So, uh, this may be one of those examples of, oh, I was in a knife fight, and I'm going to take him out of the fight without killing him. This might be an option. Certainly, he's got a lot to think about as he can't see anymore, and he's dealing with a bloody face and doesn't know how bad both is. Anyway, super simple technique. Circle here and across. My footwork on this one can be either lunging footwork here, or catching up with the off leg. So either one of those will work. Again, as I drag in, this is really the same mechanic that I use on my thrust here, or thrust, but now circle, I come into the cut, and then I catch that up with this foot. Boom. As I can, whoop, should have made that a broken. Here, cut. If I do that, then this hand comes into check, control, save my life, depending on what their weapon hand is here. Right here. That's a lunge. As you're coming in there. Okay, so super simple techniques. Still haven't seen anybody say anything on chat. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm getting kind of into my question answer period as we get in here, so leave some questions. Okay. So that was lateral slash. Next one would be, and again, well, actually, I was going to go over the parry thrust, but I kind of covered that one already on the technique one. So I'll just leave it there. Go back, take a look at the Blackbird Training YouTube channel, and sort of look at some of those mechanics. Okay, so another one coming off of this line. And actually, for this one, I'm going to go off for Pakal grip, since we did some Pakal grip earlier. So with Pakal grip on long range, right? Again, and I don't fight this a lot. I've got a couple guys in my group that do pretty well with this. But again, range limited. I tend to like my forward grip. So this isn't my preferred option. But when I do, it's usually against a power striker. And what I'll be doing is, especially like against number ones, as this is coming offline, I want to be hand picking with my sort of medium range jab, or pick the hand, especially if they're doing this, right? So this hand is open, and I want to be hand picking coming this way with it here. And you'll see me do a lot of these lateral footsteps here, trying to get away, trying to get that knife back. I don't want that, staying middle. And it doesn't take a big shot coming off of, on a reverse grip to go ahead and hammer the hand there to make them not want to do that. Even with a dull trainer, if they don't have a good glove, and a lot of times in our group, we're not fighting with like giant gloves with knife. It doesn't take much of a shot to make the guy like, hey, I don't like that. That's, of course, what we're trying to do here. So, again, little lateral, bang, here. If they have good hand motion, this one won't usually land. This is typically for sort of that bigger guy, typify bigger guys, power strikers. Either they're doing this here, or they kind of got one of these things going on with them. And this hand is moving, but it's actually not moving very much, right? So everything is in here. They're kind of giving me one of these. And so now I can send my shot somewhere into this circle that's happening right here. Okay. So that's, again, super simple tactic. And you're kind of spamming this jab a lot. Right here. here, and then sometimes you'll choose to make that the close. Bang, bang, and they get used to the kind of this offline. They start doing this, their hand starts coming back, or their hand starts coming back, and now you're working to bang, here, bang. Now this is where you hit your entry line on the triangle footwork, and you're trying to move into contrada off this number 2 line to hook, to hit, maybe to power thrust as you come in there. So it would be here, bang, 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 right? And then you get this reinforce or reinforce power shot, power thrust into the deeper body, but bang, as you come in. So 2 techniques. Again, long range lateral slash here, and then this is kind of a medium length entry line as you come in on that backhand line. I haven't seen any questions. Maybe give people a couple minutes if they have any questions. If not, we'll call it good. I think that worked out pretty well. Hopefully everybody could hear me with the speakers. And just give me some feedback on that. If this was too loud, if I should turn this down, I think there's some ways I can work the mic. So.